It was good, fam. We got Sweet Talks. Power Slap 19. It's going down. And oh my goodness, we got the hair to compare in the building. You feel me? Johnny, how are you?
Feeling good. Just got out the shower, feeling fresh, ready for this weekend.
Yeah, we got the little outcast going on, fresh and clean. I like it. I like it, man.
Let the curls out,
Yeah, it's good, dude. So, look, the weeks leading up to it, you know what I mean? I know you got some more media after this, but like pretty much after today, we probably signed some posters and stuff. It's getting close. Still locked in, still no nerves, still feeling fine.
100%. They checked me into my room. First thing I did was look in the mirror, make sure I had my stance right, get my swings in, stuff like that. I'm definitely dialed in. Anything they have us do, we'll definitely knock that out. But for the remainder of the week, I'll probably be training most of the time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are we hitting sauna or no? How's the weight doing?
No, I'm good. I probably have like 25 pounds to spare before I hit the top.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I could eat all day.
next question on that. I have to ask. So we had our interview with Pono. And so just a give you like a little behind the scenes, right? So I do an interview with you and then I upload it to software and then the software spits out things that they think are like highlights, right? And then you edit it from there and blah, blah, blah. And so I spoke with you. Awesome interview, by the way. Always honest, so much fun, all that kind of stuff. And then I was going back to edit his and it was like, he was showing respect. Do you know what I mean? I truly felt that way. But there's also this moment of like, he wasn't sure where you were coming from, and he got kind of intense and all these things, right?
I saw.
You saw? Okay, that was one question. So you saw? Do you think you got underneath the skin?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. That's always kind of a fighter's goal on some level.
I didn't try to, but if I did, then hey, we can shake hands after the fight. But I'm pretty sure what happened was he saw a comment that said, Johnny's going to kill you. And I said, you already know. And you can tell Pano doesn't watch wrestling because anybody who knows that's a chant. That's like a famous, like Samoa Joe, Joe's gonna kill, So I don't think he knows that, but I'm trying to get in his head anyways. So I didn't mean to do that, but sure, I'll take the extra help,
It was almost like it happens so organically, whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I do have plans though. I do have more plans. You'll see.
Okay. No, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see you up there. Look, I rewatched your matches, before I drove down today. I actually watched several. Yours was one, your matches were a part of that. When you got, look, I don't know who's watching this, man, but I was watching those clips while I was drunk, so fuck whatever. I never really picked up on your speed. Like, legitimately, Ryan Kenny, like, I watched the match, I heard the slap, whatever, but for some reason, when I was rewatching it on the drive down, is speed something you work on, or is that natural?
No, 100%. So if you watch my fight versus Ryan Kenny, I definitely have potential, but I was slapping the completely wrong way. And so what Coach John let me know was that my slap was super powerful, but I was just doing it wrong. And so
John, that a little bit. Yeah.
John Dotson, of all people, you want to learn speed from. He's like the fastest fighter, one of the fastest fighters of all time. So he saw my potential in the power, and so we focus a lot on speed. And so yeah, that's purposeful.
So do you feel like you've gotten even faster?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, dude.
So how does that work with the accuracy? Because if you bring the speed, can you still... So let's break it down for the fans that maybe want to nerd out a little bit.
Right.
So I've heard like the elbow trick, right? Like your hand follows your elbow, that kind of a thing. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
I've heard other people just sight line and just make sure this palm enters their sight line before they move away. With your type of speed, how do you break down hitting the target?
First of all, the greatest part of that is that I have a 9.5-inch span on my hand. So all I have to do is hit the target zone, which is pretty hard to miss with a hand this big. To be honest with you, it's really not that hard. I personally feel like I don't go that fast. But when people watch my slaps, they're like, whoa, that's super fast. And I'm like, I feel like I can go faster, but I'm just like keeping it composed for the aim, but it doesn't feel that fast to me. It feels like just enough.
Wow. Which probably validates that it's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah. It's one of those things where, when you rewatch stuff, I'll tune in on certain things like the stance, the speed, but how it sounds. Like in baseball, right? There's a sound of the crack of the bat, and you kind of know that's the real hit. That's the real deal. and you're one of those guys that does bring that. It brings that you bring that sound. You know what I mean? Do you lock into certain little things like that when you're, say, striking a paddle, or it kind of just you don't hear anything, you're just focusing on doing it, and then whatever happens. Like, are there little telltales that make you know you're doing the right pitch?
Yeah, 100%. I'm very good at listening to the pads now at this point. And so what I've noticed is like you want to listen to the echo after more than the actual hit itself, because you'll hear like the pop on the pad, but then you hear like afterwards, and it like goes throughout the room, and that let me know like, all right, that one had some impact on it. You know, there's distinct differences.
That for some reason that made me think of like when I was playing basketball, you kind of want to end on like 20 free throws in a row. Do you want to end on like 5 echoes in a row, like before you had a good training day?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I hit more than I miss. And so there'll be those moments where I'll hit it and me and Coach John know instantly. We know instantly, and we'll just look at each other and be like, try again. You know,
That's cool.
but we don't have many of those. Most of the time it's like good, good, good. All right, take a break. We'll reset in 5 or something like that. But no, I'm on it more. I'll tell you what, when I was watching your interview, he got pretty intense, and Pono was like, I have the power, I have the speed, I have the knowledge. It's like, what makes you think I don't? Why would I sit here so confident if I didn't have all of those things? Like it shouldn't even, we're at a professional level where it shouldn't even be a bragging point that that's what you have. You should have that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't believe in people who are like, oh, now you piss me off and I'm going to slap harder. It's like, bro, if you had room to slap harder, then why are you here? You know?
Interesting. I haven't heard that angle before. That's interesting, man. Yeah, yeah. So what's cool about all that though is, dude, I mean, I don't want to say the obvious, but we know we're gonna get a fucking show
Yeah.
on Friday. Because here's the thing, dude. Especially, you probably have stories about this in the pro wrestling side of things, but a lot of people a lot of people are good at hyping it up without realizing they have a job to do as well. And I don't get that vibe from either of you guys. You both know you got a job. You both know that, yeah, all this is good, but on Friday you're gonna bring it. Do you feel that adrenaline, and when
All the time.
yeah.
All the time. I can only imagine that we talked about this in my previous interview, but I have to go to a place where, friendship aside, I have to treat this as if it's a serious threat. If you really think about it, you know, I don't go out causing trouble or anything like that. The entire time since any time that you sign a contract in Power Slap, whoever you're fighting is going to be the most dangerous thing that crosses your path within X amount of weeks. You know, like I'm not a guy that gets injured at work. I don't have a job like that. You know, like I don't go out and get into trouble or anything. So he is the most dangerous thing that's going to cross my path. And so I have to imagine that he's going to have to hype himself up to get up there and take care of business. And I'm going to have to double that. So I can only imagine how he's going to be on stage. I can imagine what he's going to bring into the fight, and I'm going to double that. So it's going to be a show before the slaps even happen. I guarantee you. If we're not in each other's face, that's kind of like bullshit, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thought about a walkout song or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say it or no?
Why not? It's Linkin Park, Don't Stay. And if you think about it, I kind of turned the lyrics into where it's like Pano in my way of this fucking championship. And so
That's cool.
the whole walk down, I can literally tune into him and like talk to him while or he's not going to be out there.
No, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's I'm always really intrigued on what, I asked you the same question, and I've asked several strikers similar questions of just like, I'm really interested in like, how do you zone in? So to know that like you're gonna pick a song and kind of twist it and to do that, I love that shit because I'm not gonna get my ass up there. I'm just a fucking guy on the mic, right? And all these other people that are like keyboard warriors, that's bullshit too because they're not gonna get up there either. So I'm super interested on the ones that are doing it. What gets them to that place? Do you know what I mean?
So being that I've been an athlete all my life, but I've been a contact sport athlete all my life. And so it's kind of like it's easy for me to understand that I have like X amount of time to do what I want to this other human being with no repercussions. And so that alone puts you in a different mindset. Being a big guy, I was wearing like an adult large in elementary school, dude. Like I was a huge guy all the time, always the biggest. And so growing up, it's like sometimes you don't understand your own strength compared to other kids, so you have to spend a lot of time like holding back your strength. And so now they're giving me this thing. It's like, all right, this is your time that where you don't have to worry about that. And it's so like being able to do that to someone makes you zone in 100% because it makes you understand what they could also do to you too.
Yeah.
What you're willing to do to that person, they are also willing to do you, which is like what brings the adrenaline up, you know?
Yeah. It's also probably what brings up people that are superstars in the gym and maybe aren't that superstar at the event or their actual match because they can't carry that in there. That's what I wanted to hear. That's interesting. Yeah. I love that shit because they always say um, say you're, 8, 9, 10 years old as a kid and you're, something terrible happens where, your mom passes out and pulls the car over on the freeway or whatever. Now you're going to drive a stick shift or something, in crazy situations, you hear about these things just kind of like lining up and the people can't really explain why, but they just rise to that occasion. I think fighting is like those crazy situations where you can find out as a human being that no, I can handle a lot of pressure, a lot of heat, and come out victorious. And to feel that now that we're doing things in person right now, and to hear that is just so interesting to me, man. Because you have to do it over and over. Whereas like guys like me, regular dudes, we hopefully when we're faced with that, we will be able to rise to the occasion. But to be able to have that as part of your life consistently is fascinating to me, man.
Yeah, it can be tough. I'm not gonna lie, it can be tough.
It can be tough. Yeah.
Like,
Well, you mentioned before too that you got to have a little fear.
yeah, absolutely. That's the thing though, is that like, it's not that I'm afraid of the opponent, you know, I'm just afraid of letting everyone down more. Like the people that I train with, the people back home and stuff like that, I'm afraid of letting those guys down. And so, I don't know, you put yourself in this mindset where it's kind of just like bravery overcomes fear so much that you're just willing to accept what happens to you because you're so willing to pour it all in for those people and stuff. And I feel like genuinely that's what's going to save me from being knocked out. I have a theory that if you go in scared, you can show face all day, but if you're scared, your body has like a fight or flight response. And I think like a rabbit or some shit, like it'll just happen as like a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So you got to learn how to like not be afraid genuinely. You have to genuinely be like, I don't give a shit what happens to me.
And can you learn that? This isn't rhetorical, I promise. Can you learn that not doing something like this, not being in combat? You have to.
No, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't yoga your way into being brave.
No, I've had a lot of life experiences, man. Like I was in a car accident where I was in the passenger seat and it was a eclipse. So being that I'm so tall, my seat was all the way back.
I know what eclipse is, yeah.
And so we went off of the side of the sidewalk and then flipped into like this parking lot that was 10 feet down. But we were going so fast that we had drug across the parking lot, hit the other side. And I think we were like 60 miles an hour or something like that. But that should have like killed me. The driver passed out. I did not pass out. I experienced everything. I watched everything. It was like all slow motion and stuff. And so I can look back at that and be like, someone smacking me isn't that intense at all. So having experiences like that, it's like, of course I could survive somebody's slap. Of course I can make myself like fearless walking out there. It's just a slap. I've had experiences where it's just a slap, you know?
That's insane that what I just said, spitballing, you lived that shit. Ow. How old were you?
That was right after high school. I was 18 years old.
Oh my gosh, man.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Probably a lot of people have experiences that were, intense, and they probably have a similar mindset, which so you kind of like, you tap into an experience that is like way worse than what you're about to do.
Oh yeah.
And if I can survive that, this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, man. I love that. Well, Johnny, man, I told you before, but I'm gonna say it again. I couldn't be more excited about this match. Like the intensity is real, it's organic, it's raw, and there's stakes on the line, especially in the heavyweight division. Like I said this on the podcast, but we have a ton of amazing strikers. but as far as like familiarity, I think I
Yep.
did it. Recognizing people that have been in there since the beginning. I think most of them live inside that heavyweight division. You know, a lot of people, you know, push back on that or whatever, but it just feels like in the heavyweights, people that are more of a casual fan of Power Slap will probably recognize more names. And so the stakes are not only emotional, the stakes are not only like drawing more fans to it. The stakes aren't only like, where am I going to be in the rankings? The stakes are like, this might solidify who's going to be here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Our division is by far the deadliest in all of Power Slap, in my opinion.
You believe that?
Yeah, the super heavyweights, it gets to a point where the knockouts are a little bit more rare. They happen, but they're more rare. And then once you go down, it's no offense or anything, but it's just like the hits are a little bit lighter because the guys are a little bit smaller, you know? I feel like heavyweight is that perfect space to where you're not big enough to like be able to take everyone's hits. So maybe a lot of people could knock you out. But then also it's so like everyone here is so powerful too that you have the potential to put everyone out. I don't feel like every division has that. There's a lot of guys that if you match them up, it'd come out to a decision or a draw or something like that. But the viral clips are going to be in the knockouts, which are going to be the heavier guys.
Wow. Well, hey, listen, fam, it's going down. We will find out. Power Slap 19. Johnny, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Do it. Let's do it, brother.
All right.